What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning into the channel. I'm Kevin Duffy, and I want to do a deep dive today on all these Superman set photos that have been released. Obviously, those of you who follow the channel know that I am very excited about James Gunn's upcoming DCU, and really excited about the kickoff of this which was originally Superman Legacy, is now just Superman. And these set photos, I've been waiting for little bit of concrete looks at these characters and what they're going to look like. James Gunn released the teaser photo that a few weeks back of David Cornsweet in the Superman suit, and that was met with some mixed to poor reception on that initial suit reveal. People didn't like that there was battle damage on it. They didn't like that it was a dark photo. They didn't like that he was sitting down for some reason. I don't know. There was a lot of animosity towards that first photo. So I really couldn't wait to get another look at this suit, hopefully one in broad daylight. And lo and behold, the good people of Cincinnati have come to my aid and the aid of all of us who are waiting to get a good look at this suit, and dropped a ton of images, not just of David Cornsweet's Superman. You get Eddie Gathegi's Mr. Terrific in these shots, Rachel Brosnahan's Lois Lane, the whole Daily Planet crew, and a couple of other characters who might be coming up against Superman. And I'm going to deep dive these right now. Let's get right into it. The first images I saw when I was deep diving this is this photo of Eddie Gathegi and obviously Kal-El doing this. They're kind of just walking by this fence. I don't know if you guys have seen this image, but man, does this suit pop or what? The colors couldn't be more on point. It is so bright, and I mean, we have the confirmation of the trunks, which we kind of already did in the last one, but man, those trunks, I was on the fence about whether or not I was team trunks or not for this. I'm actually happy to see them. It does bring like a level of silly to the character. Now, maybe that's not everybody's bag, but for me, Superman is such a OP character, and having something like trunks on almost humbles him a bit. And I always kind of like that. And while I did enjoy the Henry Cavill Superman suit without the trunks, I think the trunks actually do help brighten up the character a bit, make him more down to earth. I actually like it. So I think it looks pretty good. The colors are great. I like the thick yellow belt that he has running along. That looks really cool. Not a lot of design there. It's just yellow, which is nice. I think the Superman Kingdom Come crest, or the altered Kingdom Come crest that they have on his chest there, looks great. Looks a little smaller than it did in the initial reveal that they had, but I still think it looks good. If it was the full chest, it might look a little funny, but I actually think it's just about perfectly sized. I know a lot of people don't love the Kingdom Come crest design, but I actually think it looks pretty damn cool. I do. I feel like it looks more alien, which is, perfect, because he is in fact a fucking alien. But I think it's pretty cool. There have been rumors that this movie might be a kind of reverse Kingdom Come story, so having some semblance of the Kingdom Come S is pretty cool to represent that story. I actually really dig it. The collar on this shirt. So the collar in the original photo was very turtleneck looking, and it might have just been the way that he was bent down. Like he was bent down like this, so it looked like it was kind of sitting kind of higher up than it is. But this definitely appears to be more open to the bottom of the neck, almost like not quite V-neck, but kind of like that. And I actually think the collar looks pretty good. I initially was on the fence about the collar. I don't love Superman with a collar in too many iterations, but the one issue I do have with the suit, because I think it looks pretty damn good, but it's not perfect. I don't love the shoulder lines. I don't know what it is about those shoulder lines that really doesn't work with me, but it just doesn't. Like there's the elements on the forearm are fine, but the shoulder just, it looks so out of place to me that Superman's got this like design going from his collarbone down through his shoulders. I don't know. It seems out of place. And I know that a lot of modern superhero movies go for like the Marvel lines that like the MCU is notorious for putting lines on their costume. But for Superman, I just feel like if it were whatever like on the bicep, whatever that design or fabric is, that should have run straight up through the shoulder. I think that would have looked a little better. But it doesn't make or break it for me. I've also seen a lot of complaints about this suit, that it is a like loose fitting suit, and you can kind of see it in the joints a little bit. You see it around like just below the chest, like around the rib area. I have no problem with it. to be honest. I know that a lot of movies, like, especially the MCU, which again, it's not the MCU, but James Gunn did come from the MCU, so a lot of his stylistic choices might port over from there. But I know that with some of the action sequences being filmed, like Black Panther, for example, Captain America, different superheroes in different action sequences on the sets of these Marvel movies, they would have like looser fitting shirts for the action sequences, and they always fix it up in post. They always tighten it up in post. So I'm not concerned about it. I'm sure you won't even see it in the trailers or in the movie itself. So that doesn't bother me at all. But man, David Cornsweet looks fucking great as Superman. He just has that face. He actually, for all the people out there that claim this dude looks just like Henry Cavill, which, I mean, he does. But, I mean, let's be honest. He looks like Henry Cavill because Henry Cavill looks like Superman, and they're both playing Superman. So, but in this photo, specifically this one where he is walking by that metal fence with Mr. Terrific, he looks kind of like Tom Welling's Superman from the TV show. So that's, again, all these Supermen, if you look like any of the other Supermen, then you probably fit the bill pretty well. But I think he looks damn good. I think Mr. Terrific, I'll dive into him a little bit in a minute, but I think he looks great too. So this is definitely comic book page come to life kind of thing. Like, these characters for sure were plucked right out of comic books, but the way that they are designed here, I think it looks really cool. I do dig that the suit has, or that the cape has the golden S on the back of it. Always liked that design. I always thought that was a cool thing to put on the Superman suit. The Christopher Reeve one had it, and it's just been something that's been missing from the live action Superman for a while. I like it. I like that it's a full length cape. I like that it's really on him, and I'm sure that during like flight scenes and any of the green screen stuff he does, the big fight scenes and stuff, they might go with a digital cape for all I know. But as far as all these set photos, him wearing the cape is pretty cool. I like it a lot. Let's talk about Mr. Terrific really quick before we move on to some of the other photos here. But I think Eddie Gathegi looks great as Mr. Terrific. I really do. This is not that his suit was so complex that it wouldn't have been hard to do, but they really just took the comic image of Mr. Terrific and pulled it right out and put it on Eddie Gathegi, and it looks fucking great. I like that the T-mask is kind of 3D. It sits off his face a little bit. That's really cool. Obviously, in the Arrowverse, their version of Mr. Terrific, it was just face paint. I didn't love that much, but this looks pretty damn cool. I gotta say, that mask looks cool. I can't wait to see him using some of his T-spheres. There's a shot here where it shows the Daily Planet crew kind of coming out of what I assume is Mr. Terrific's ship. He does fly around in a spaceship of sorts. So it's going to be pretty damn cool to see him using all his technology in whatever scenes he's in. This looks like a big battle in front of the Daily Planet, I would assume, or at least down in downtown Metropolis. So there's a lot of rubble, lots of debris going on. I really want to know what's happening in this scene, but again, they're images. We're not going to know what's really happening here, but it looks pretty cool. Rachel Brosnahan looks fucking great as Lois Lane. Oh my God. They got her in the iconic purple shirt. She looks like her and David Cornsweet are having fun on set, and not that that matters, whatever the scene translates to, but they just look great together. In this photo of them side by side, like he is a big Superman, and I don't mean like super bulky and huge. I mean, he did get pretty fucking yoked for this role, but just him standing like head and shoulders above Rachel Brosnahan does do that perfect like comic dynamic where you're like, well, that's Superman on panel. He's a fucking giant of a man, and Lois is this little petite, woman. So it looks really cool. But I mean, he's towering over the goddamn soldiers in these shots too. But she looks great as Lois Lane. I cannot wait to see her sass come out. If she brings even a quarter of what she did for the Miss Rachel. Oh, man. I'm sorry, guys. I have 3 kids at home, and the youngest one loves this YouTube channel, Miss Rachel. It's very educational, very funny. That's not at all the show that Rachel Brosnahan was in. The Marvelous Miss Maisel. is what I was going for. If she brings even 1/10, a quarter, if she even brings 1/10 of her marvelous Miss Maisel to the role of Lois, she is going to be so entertaining. I got a super high feeling that I am going to walk out of this movie being just even more in love with Rachel Brosnahan, because I got a feeling she's going to kill Lois Lane and probably steal a big chunk of this movie. She looks awesome. Obviously, the photo of the whole Daily Planet crew coming out of the T-ship is awesome. There's this image which I didn't think was real when it first dropped, which it was the image of Clark Kent, where they have him with the big, the curly, almost fro on top of his head. My buddy Dan sent it to me, and he said, "What is this photo?" And I was like, "I don't even know if that's real, because I haven't seen any set photos of Clark Kent yet." But it did become the real photo. But at first, it kind of threw me off, but when you do the side-by-side, this hairstyle choice and this like disheveled suit look really does lead more into the how should Superman look when he's being Clark Kent if he wants to throw people off the scent that he's Superman. And that's a way to go. He looks very different, and I think it adds it. It's not just glasses and like, I part my hair this way when I'm Superman, and I part it this way when I'm Clark Kent. As you can see, I'm very jealous of the fact that he can part hair at all, since I look more like Lex Luthor. But I think it looks kind of funny. But then I saw the little video that somebody had shot from afar where it shows him like kind of fighting the crowd of Metropolis, trying to get through all clumsily. It works. And truthfully, if he brings any of that Christopher Reeve energy of, just being such a klutz and being totally just goofy to the Clark role, I can't wait for that. We've been sorely lacking that version of Clark Kent, and that's what I want, man. That's what I want. I need Clark Kent to be so obviously not Superman that he doesn't arouse suspicion, And I think David Cornswet's going to do this. He's going to bring a lot of humor to the role of Clark, and that's going to be great. And then the last photo that I really want to dive into here are these photos of what appear to be Superman getting arrested. Now, we don't know exactly what the plot of this movie is, obviously. James Gunn's been very tight-lipped about it. We know that Lex Luthor is the main villain of the movie. We can only assume that he's got some kind of ulterior motive, some dislike for Superman already. That's kind of intrinsically woven into the character, so I can't imagine that's not the case. And there was this leaked info a while back about Lex Luthor maybe getting some of Superman's DNA and cloning him. Now, whether that was going to be a Bizarro or some kind of Ultraman kind of version of the character, we didn't know what we were going to get here. And these set photos show Superman being escorted away in handcuffs by the military, and you have Rick Flag Sr. kind of like walking with Superman, part of this contingent that was obviously arresting him. You have the Engineer, who's one of the characters from The Authority, which is going to be another DCU movie that is going to get made. They're kind of like a ragtag Justice League that will do anything to make sure that they accomplish their mission, including kill people. So they're kind of badass. So the Engineer is one of those characters. She's in this movie. We know that earlier set photos know that she was going to have at least one fight with Superman. So again, I don't think she's a villain necessarily, but she's probably someone who's been led to believe Superman is a villain. And then the real big mystery here is this big guy walking Superman in. This guy is in a full black mask. He looks like Black Noir. Can't see his eyes. He got goggles. He's about the size of Superman, and he has what appears to be a big silver U on his chest, leading me to believe that it's Ultraman. Now, if you don't know who Ultraman is, there are different iterations of the character, but he is, in some iterations, basically like a Superman from another world, right? One of the many infinite Earths. He's a Superman from another Earth, basically. And it seems like in this movie, if the leaks are true about Lex Luthor potentially getting some of Clark's or Superman's DNA, that maybe he has cloned or imbued somebody with Superman's abilities, and that could be who's arresting him right there. My thought is this character will probably end up being the muscle for Lex, or at least be like the third act villain that, like, you know, having the genes of Superman thrown into somewhere where it wasn't supposed to be could lead to a deterioration of the mind, and Lex maybe sets Superman up to seem like he is the villain of this story at some point, and it all backfires, and it comes out that this Ultraman version of the character is actually who the villain is. He's the one who's been doing all this stuff that maybe Superman is being accused of in these set photos. But it's a pretty cool take. I didn't love the idea of them cloning Superman as a villain, but if it helps push along that narrative of Lex Luthor being this, like, you know, genius level scientist himself, and as long as it isn't an actual clone of Superman, I think I could get on board with this. I don't want it to be a real clone. I don't want it to be a Bizarro, you know? I want it to be maybe just someone who's been a test subject who's been imbued with Superman's DNA, and it does not work with him. You know, that's a lane I could get behind, more so than it being a proper clone. Because, I mean, how the fuck would he get a full-grown clone ready to go when Superman's only been active like 3 or 4 years, or whatever the timeline is in this movie? But it looks pretty cool. Like I said, I do love the comic elements of this. I love how it looks like the bright colors straight off the page of the comic. I really need to see a trailer for this movie. Bad. I know that they're filming now. It'll probably be a while before we get one, but holy shit, if I could get a trailer for this movie in the next 3 months, I'll be extremely happy. But anyways, the question is for you guys. Have you seen these leaked set photos? I'm sure you have. What do you think about it? What do you think about the suits that are being revealed here? Do you like the Mr. Terrific? Do you like, the Ultraman suit potentially? And more importantly, do you like the Superman suit? I know that it was a subject of much debate, and I think it looks really good, but I want to know what you guys think. Whatever you think, let us know in the comments. Click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and check out our podcast. We usually go live on Thursday nights, but we've been doing a couple Tuesdays here and there so we can get the House of the Dragon reviews in earlier. So check us out there, and we'll catch you on the next video. See ya.